Welcome to System Reboot Zone, the podcast for the cracked, the creative, and the relentless. I'm your host, Adam, and this is where low-end legends rise and broken systems get rebuilt. We talk tech, tactics, and triumphs. If you've ever made magic with broken gear, this podcast is for you. Let's get into it. Intel versus AMD, the eternal CPU debate in 2025. For decades, the battle between Intel and AMD has shaped the heart of every personal computer. Whether you're building a gaming rig, editing videos, or simply trying to get the best value for your money, the question always emerges: Intel or AMD? In 2025, the debate burns more intensely than ever before. Both companies have released powerful new chips, refined their architectures, and pushed innovation to new heights. But choosing between them isn't merely about benchmarks. It's about priorities, use cases, and long-term value. Let's examine this rivalry in depth. A brief history of the rivalry. Intel dominated the CPU market for years. From the Pentium era through Core i7 supremacy, they established the standard for performance and reliability. AMD, meanwhile, was often perceived as the budget alternative. Good enough, perhaps, but not elite. They were the choice you made when your wallet dictated compromise. That narrative changed dramatically in 2017 with the launch of Ryzen. AMD's Zen architecture flipped the script entirely, offering more cores, superior multitasking capabilities, and competitive pricing that actually challenged Intel's dominance. Suddenly, AMD wasn't just catching up. They were leading the charge in specific areas that mattered to enthusiasts and professionals alike. Fast forward to 2025, and both companies stand neck and neck. Intel's 14th generation core chips and AMD's Ryzen 8000 series are pushing boundaries that seemed impossible just a few years ago. But they're approaching these challenges in fundamentally different ways, each with their own philosophy about what makes a processor truly great. The rivalry has evolved from a simple performance comparison into a complex debate about architectural approaches, manufacturing processes, and ecosystem integration. It's no longer about who's faster, it's about who's faster at what, and whether that matters for your specific needs. Performance, core wars, and clock speeds. Intel still maintains the crown for raw single-core performance. Their chips frequently achieve higher clock speeds and excel in tasks that rely on fast individual cores. This matters significantly for certain games and legacy software that can't take advantage of multiple cores. When an application is single-threaded by design or limitation, Intel's approach often delivers superior results. AMD, conversely, dominates in multi-core workloads. Their chips pack more cores and threads at similar price points, making them ideal for video editing, three-dimensional rendering, streaming while gaming, and heavy multitasking scenarios. This is where AMD's philosophy shines brightest. In 2025, AMD's Ryzen 9 8950X offers 16 cores and 32 threads, a beast for parallel processing tasks. Meanwhile, Intel's Core i9 14900K delivers blistering single-core speed with 24 total cores split between 8 performance cores and 16 efficiency cores. The hybrid architecture represents Intel's answer to the core count wars, attempting to balance raw speed with thread count efficiency. The choice between them depends entirely on your workload. If you're running simulations, compiling code, or rendering complex scenes, AMD's multi-core advantage becomes undeniable. If you're playing older games or using software that hasn't been optimized for multiple cores, Intel's single-threaded performance might serve you better. Gaming, frames versus features. Gaming performance is where the debate becomes particularly heated among enthusiasts. This is where brand loyalty often overrides objective analysis and where real-world testing can produce surprisingly varied results depending on the specific titles and settings used. Intel often wins in pure frames per second measurements, especially in competitive titles like Counter-Strike 2, Valorant, or Fortnite. Their high clock speeds and low latency give them a measurable edge in frame rates, which matters enormously in competitive gaming where every millisecond counts. Professional gamers and esports competitors often gravitate toward Intel for this reason. AMD, however, possesses a secret weapon:
three-dimensional V-cache technology. Chips like Ryzen 7 7800X 3D deliver massive gains in games that benefit from additional cache memory. Titles like Elden Ring, Starfield, and Minecraft with heavy modifications show remarkable improvements. In some specific titles, AMD beats Intel by 15 to 20%, which is substantial enough to change the entire gaming experience. The gaming debate also extends beyond pure performance. Power consumption matters, especially for those concerned about electricity costs or thermal management. AMD's efficiency gains in recent generations have narrowed what was once a significant gap. Heat generation, cooling requirements, and the ability to maintain boost clocks under sustained loads all factor into the real-world gaming experience. Power efficiency and thermals. This aspect of the comparison has evolved dramatically over recent years. AMD made significant strides in power efficiency with their 7 and 5 nanometer processes, often delivering comparable performance to Intel while consuming less power and generating less heat. Intel's hybrid architecture approach with performance and efficiency cores represents their strategy for managing power consumption. The idea is elegant. Use high-performance cores when you need them and fall back to efficiency cores for background tasks. In theory, this should deliver the best of both worlds. In practice, the results are more nuanced. AMD's approach tends to offer more consistent power draw and thermal characteristics, which can make system building and cooling solutions more straightforward. Intel's variable power states can deliver excellent efficiency in light workloads, but under sustained heavy loads, their chips often consume more power and generate more heat than their AMD counterparts. For laptop users, this distinction becomes even more critical. Battery life, thermal throttling, and fan noise all impact the user experience significantly. AMD's efficiency advantages often translate into longer battery life and quieter operation in mobile systems. Platform and upgradability. The platform ecosystem surrounding each processor matters more than many realize. This isn't just about the CPU itself, but about the motherboard, chipset, memory support, and future upgrade paths. AMD has historically maintained longer socket compatibility, allowing users to upgrade their processors without replacing their entire motherboard. This approach has won them loyalty among budget-conscious builders and enthusiasts who appreciate the ability to upgrade incrementally over time. Intel tends to change sockets more frequently, which can frustrate users planning long-term upgrades. However, their platforms often receive support for the latest technologies first, and their ecosystem generally offers more motherboard options at various price points. Memory support also differs between platforms. Both companies now support DDR5 memory, but the specifics of speed support, overclocking capabilities, and stability can vary significantly. AMD's Infinity Fabric architecture has particular sensitivities to memory speed that can impact performance significantly. Pricing and value proposition. Pricing strategies from both companies have shifted dramatically over the years. AMD built their resurgence partly by offering better value, more cores for less money. That value proposition attracted budget builders and enthusiasts who needed multi-threaded performance without breaking the bank. Intel, feeling the pressure, has adjusted their pricing to remain competitive. The result is a market where both companies offer compelling value at different price points, though the specific sweet spots shift with each generation and market fluctuation. In 2025, the value equation isn't straightforward. You need to consider not just the processor cost, but the entire system cost, including motherboard, cooling requirements, and potential future upgrades. Sometimes a cheaper processor requires a more expensive motherboard or better cooling, negating the initial savings. The software and optimization factor. Software optimization plays a crucial role in real-world performance that benchmarks don't always capture. Some applications are optimized specifically for Intel architectures, while others perform better on AMD. Game developers might tune their engines for one platform over another, leading to performance variations that have nothing to do with raw hardware capability. Professional software like Adobe Creative Cloud, DaVinci Resolve, and various 3D modeling applications all have their own quirks and preferences. Research into how your specific software performs on each platform is essential for making an informed decision. The verdict: which should you choose? The truth is, there's no universal answer. The Intel versus AMD debate cannot be resolved with a simple recommendation because the right choice depends entirely on your specific needs, budget, and priorities. Choose Intel if you prioritize single-core performance, play competitive games where every frame matters, or work with software specifically optimized for Intel architectures. Their high clock speeds and established ecosystem make them a safe choice for many scenarios. Choose AMD if you need multi-core performance for content creation, value efficiency in thermals, appreciate longer platform support, or want the best performance in cache-sensitive games. For most users, either choice will serve them well. The performance differences in everyday tasks are often negligible. What matters more is the total system cost, your specific applications, and whether you value factors like upgradability and power efficiency over raw benchmark numbers. Final thoughts. The Intel versus AMD rivalry has driven innovation that benefits everyone. Competition forces both companies to push harder, price more aggressively, and think more creatively about processor design. Without AMD's Ryzen revolution, we might still be stuck with incremental 4-core upgrades at premium prices. In 2025, both companies offer exceptional products. The debate isn't about which is objectively better anymore, it's about which is better for you. Consider your workload, research your specific applications, and make an informed decision based on data rather than brand loyalty. The eternal debate continues, and that's exactly how it should be. Competition breeds excellence, and in this battle, we all win.